We now return to Dr. Monday's Halloween special. Welcome back to the show. Before we continue with our preview of Terminator Dark Fate, did you finish carving your pumpkins, boys and ghouls? I finished mine. It's a pumpkin wearing a CPAP device. There's nothing scarier than when you stop breathing in the middle of the night. Now it's time for viewer mail. Today's letter comes from Little Jimmy. Little Jimmy writes, "Dear Dr. Monday, you are the spookiest." Thank you. When are you going to send my mother the child support check you owe her? Oh, very funny, Little Jimmy. I'll see you at Christmas. And now a word from our sponsor.
Rolex X-Lax. Take one of these before you visit your local Rolex AD. Clean yourself out before they get a chance to. Only available in Datejust flavor. We now return to our regularly scheduled program, already in progress. All right, guys, a very happy Halloween to you. On my wrist today, I am wearing, no surprise here, it's the Laurier Neptune Generation 3. I've got it on a orange and black Omega NATO for Halloween. And so this is the Phoibos Ocean Master 1,000-meter diver. I've had this watch in my collection for, I guess, probably a little over a year now, and I was just trying to bring it out at the right time, and I think Halloween is that right time. It gives off a little bit of a spooky vibe, I guess, with this particular watch, but you've got a 43mm case, a thickness of 13 millimeters, lug-to-lug of 48.5 millimeters, a lug width of 22 millimeters, a flat piece of sapphire crystal on this particular watch today, 120 click unidirectional bezel, which the action on it is really good. There's very little back play, as you can see, almost none. The sound is kind of a muffled, plasticky sound, but it is buttery smooth, and it lines up just about right. Well, it is right. So it is an all 316L stainless steel case, and this bracelet is not the way it comes. I know I'm a repeat offender on that. This is a strap code bracelet for the SKX 007, and it actually fits this watch perfectly. I was able to even use the fat Seiko spring bars, so that's really cool. Usually I have to use regular thin 22mm spring bars and kind of bend them to get into the lug holes, but not this time. This would fit perfectly, so I would surmise that you have quite a few bracelet options for this watch. With strap code, and I'm sure Uncle Seiko, pretty much anything that would fit the SKX 007 would more than likely fit this watch. The case back is really super cool. This is got that octopus Phoibos logo on there. I think it just looks absolutely fantastic. You've got Phoibos Ocean Master, Swiss quartz, 3,300 feet, 1,000 meters, sapphire crystal, and the serial number. It is also a screw-down case back. Couple of other items to note on the case, a helium escape valve at 2 o'clock. Now, I know there's a lot of controversy with these on whether they're even needed at all on a particular watch, but I don't know, this one has it. I think it gives it a more of a unique look, you know, nothing that's directly copied from like the Submariner or even the Omega Seamaster 300M, nothing like that copied. 4 o'clock crown, so that's going to be reminiscent of the SKX 007. And of course, I guess on first glance, this watch sort of has a resemblance to the Citizen ProMaster, which I would say that the Citizen ProMaster Eco Drive is probably the direct competition for this watch. So you've got all printed indices today on a sunburst black dial, and in the sun this really looks pretty cool. A date window at 3 o'clock. It is framed by a printed frame, and of course you've got that Really, really cool, gorgeous Phoibos logo just below the 12 o'clock marker. And then just above the 6 is professional 3300/1000 meters. So this watch is powered by a quartz Swiss Ronda 515 movement, a pretty accurate movement as is my understanding. You'll notice the second hand does hit all of the minute markers pretty much dead on, so that is a very good quality control there on Phoibos's part. The hands are sword-style hands with a neon orange minute hand, which I think makes the dial really pop out, especially when you're looking at it in bright light. So the bezel is aluminum, and it does have a luminous pip, and we will check out the Loom here. The Loom is actually really outstanding. It's Swiss C3 Super Luminova, which is pretty good, used in a lot of watches. It's very thickly applied to these printed indices, so as far as Loom goes, this is going to be one of your better values. So what do I like about this watch? I really love the bezel. I love the bezel action. It feels buttery smooth, and it has just this low plasticky sound is the best way I could describe it. There's not a whole lot of resistance to it. It is easy to turn, as I will show you here, so that might be a drawback for some folks, but you could literally just, do this and it turns. So you don't need a lot of force to turn the bezel. I know if you're diving or relying on timing, you definitely could gently bump this and it would move. So I like the heaviness of the watch, even when it's not on the bracelet. It is very heavy, especially for a quartz watch, which are traditionally lighter. This is very substantial, very heavy. It feels like it's very high quality. It feels very, very solid. Do I think it could go to 1,000 meters? I don't know. I wish somebody would independently test the claims on some of these Chinese watches. There's a couple that do claim 1,000 meters of water resistance. I would love to see a test to see if that's actually the case. It doesn't feel as substantial as my BLWRX 1,000 meter diver, which that one does feel like it could go to 1,000. It actually feels like you could knock somebody out with it. So good on that regard as far as quality of build. But this quality of build is also really good. So I don't have any reason to question it, but I would like to see somebody independently verify that. Really like the hands, like that the second hand hits the markers dead on. Love that orange minute hand. It just makes this watch just pop out. The Loom is really, really good. Fantastic. I also like that the Loom pip, if you can see, is kind of recessed down on the aluminum insert a little bit, so I don't think that really runs too much of a risk of getting damaged or getting knocked out, so good on them for putting that design in. So what do I not like about this watch? Well, there's not a whole lot I don't like about it. I've certainly put this watch through its paces. I did a lot of heavy summer maintenance work in 100-degree heat. I never had a problem with the watch. It got wet, it got dirty, it cleaned up. There's not even a mark on it at all. And I was wearing it on this bracelet, which is kind of, I guess, stupid. I probably should have put it on a rubber strap, but yeah. So as far as reliability for me, just quality of build, it's been really good. I guess the only thing I can say that I don't really like about this watch is it just gives off like a 90s vibe. Like it's very Citizen ProMaster NY0040 feel, which is a really cool watch, but that watch is very dated. I mean, it's very 90s. If you're wearing the watch, it looks like it's from the 90s, and it's not something that ages very well over time. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on this watch, but it's still cool and I still like it, so not a whole lot of drawbacks. Now, finding this watch is a challenge. Like I said, I've had it for a little over a year, and when I got it, it was about $180, and I purchased it off Amazon, but that's currently unavailable right now. So I'm not sure if they stopped making them or what. I even checked LongIslandWatch.com, and they also did not have the watch in stock. Now, Amazon does have the blue version, the blue sunburst version of this for the $180. You can still get it. I even checked eBay, and I could not find this, so I don't know if it's something that's going to come back in stock. So I'm probably a little late on the review to this one, so I'm sorry about that. But if you do like it, you could pick up the Sunburst Blue version, which I think, honestly, is probably the one that people prefer over this black one. I already had the Citizen ProMaster Eco Drive that was blue, so I figured I wanted to go black and you know, just have a watch that I could kind of contrast with that. And maybe I'll do a head-to-head between the two of them. But I would say if you can find it in the $180 price range, or maybe even cheaper, maybe some will come up on eBay. And there's also an automatic version of this with a green dial. It's powered by the, I believe, the Seiko NH35 movement, and that's going to run you, you know, in the mid 250s probably to pick one of those up. I saw one listed on eBay at the time of this review, so that was going, I think, for $225. So if you don't like quartz, and that is another drawback that I don't particularly care for, this battery is going to go dead, and this is a 1,000-meter diver. I don't like to crack the back of these. I mean, this watch really, the claim to fame is that it's 1,000 meters water resistant, so I don't want to have to constantly crack the back, you know, not constantly, but, you know, every couple of years crack the back. And then you realistically, once you crack it the first time, unless you have somebody professionally do it, I think you're going to lose that water resistance of 1,000 meters, but nobody goes down that far. So I'm sure it's still fine. It's just a little nitpicky thing. I would prefer an 1,000-meter diver to have an automatic movement, but, and they did, but this is just a cheaper version for folks to enjoy. So that's really, I mean, all I have on this particular watch. I waited a long time to show you guys because I wanted to bring it out on a spooky occasion, and Halloween certainly is a spooky occasion. So guys, thank you for joining me today. I think if you want to pick one of these up, I don't think you'd be disappointed. If you can deal with quartz, I know a lot of guys can't. I can. I don't mind quartz. I like a grab and go watch, and this certainly is a very cool watch. So I will see you next time.